Hello, my name is Megan. This is my Beyond the Text for Rollo May. I'm specifically going to kind of talk about his book, The Cry for Myth. So this book was written in 1991. There's the cover of the book, and there's Mr. Rollo May himself, or published in 1991 at least. And he is in this book. It's talking about how important myths are, and the connection between myths and our subconscious mind, and how myths can help us find hope and peace and connect us to characters that can help us feel seen, valued, and heard, and find make sense in a senseless world. The book also has case studies in it where he's talking about his clients and how different myths have helped them, where he's used a specific myth to help a client. So it's kind of cool. The book is broken up. So on page 15, there's a quote that says, "Myths are like beams in a house, not exposed to the outside view. They are structures which hold the house together so people can live in it." And I will come back to this idea in just a minute. So the book is broken up into 4 parts. The first part, and kind of the most important part, is the function of myths and why myths are important. Then 2, 3, and 4 are the case studies. So the first one's a bunch of case studies, myths in America, 3 myths in the Western world, 4 myths for survival. So I'm going to kind of talk about the function of myths, that first section. So he kind of says there's 2 parts to this, our personal crises and the search for our roots. So when it comes to our personal crises, he's saying that there are at least 4 ways that myths can contribute to our lives to help us not have these crises or work through these crises. Myths can give us a sense of who we are. Myths can make possible our loyalties to communal groups. Myths can support our moral values, and myths can address the mysteries of creation and creativity. The next part he focuses on was in search of our roots. And when I thought roots, I thought genealogy or genetics, like kind of family tree-ish stuff. But as I looked into it, it's actually talking about the connection. I'm not going to read the whole quote, but it does say, "The person without a myth is a person without a home. And the outsider, the foreigner, the stranger is the one who does not share our myths, the one who steers by different stars, worships different gods." And so what kind of came to my mind was Vikings on History Channel. There's a show that really talks about the Vikings and kind of does a really good job of showing their myths and how important it is and how binding it is to them. Like, they are also connected by what they believe, what their belief set are. They have traditions that they follow together. They have ideas of when someone passes, what happens to them, where they come from, who's watching over them. And so because of those myths, they are very, very, very solid group. And then when they meet people who are not in that, have different beliefs, different myths that they follow, they are the outsiders. They don't understand each other. They are foreign to one another. So the next 3 sections are different case studies about specific types of myths. There's quite a few in each section, but these are a few that just kind of stood out to me, like Gatsby and the American Dream was one of them in this section. Mysteries of the Western World, Briar Rose Revisited, and then The Therapist and the Journey into Hell. So these were both kind of interesting to look into. 4 myths for survival. And so as I was looking into this, I kind of was digging a little deeper, and I kind of came up to this guy named Jonathan Young, who actually knew Rollo May and used his ideas in creating like treatments and therapies, and kind of like this book that Rollo May had written that we just discussed in like more kind of modern tech movement for his clients. And he did an interview, and I really enjoyed that interview. So I'm going to just read one of the questions. The interviewer said, "How does myth apply to psychotherapy and psychological growth and development?" And Mr. Jonathan Young said, "Myths provide guidance for difficult times. They can give encouragement as we struggle to survive horrendous ordeals. I have found that in clinical work and in my own journey, it is useful to study mythic stories of hope. After all, those classic heroic seekers did get through their awesome challenges. These tales also provide hints of dealing with midlife crises, or other difficult transitions. And then two examples he gives, which were kind of fun, was Cinderella, you can see her on the left, and Robin Hood on the right. And he was saying how these are stories that we know. And since we know them, when we hear them, we already kind of connect to them. They're already like feel important to us. They already feel known to us. But then if we connect our own ourself and our own stories, or if we have clients, we connect our clients to stories, then they can find hope. For example, with Cinderella, she's in a hopeless situation and she's been in there for a long time and she sees no way out. She has no idea how she's going to get out of the situation. But it happens. She does get out of the situation. And even up until the very last minute, she had no idea how it would work out for her, but it did. That can help someone who's in a bad situation get hope. And then Robin Hood, he was talking about how people like who maybe are marginalized, or people who are feeling taken advantage of, or people who feel like the the man on top's always winning, and they're like giving, and not able to um, kind of find peace with that. That there is hope. There are people who will be out there fighting for us, or you can be one of those people fighting, and it's not always going to be that the guy on top wins, but like the underdogs, they can fight and they can find a place too, and find peace too, and success too. So it was kind of fun to look into this. I had never really put these items together in my mind. And so to kind of read into it and learn more, and then also learn about some people who have Rollo May has inspired, was also kind of cool. So I have enjoyed this Beyond the Text, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.